Hello and welcome viewers. I have Anish Rankawat, Senior Research Analyst at Nirmal joining us to help us understand the impact of coronavirus on the Indian auto companies as well. Firstly, this is the third month with regards to coronavirus, Anish. How big is it as an impact for the Indian markets? Because globally, we are already seeing slowdown happening.
See, Indian automobile industry it's already been in slowdown for the last, I think, one and a half year.
Absolutely.
Um, and about the coronavirus, until the quarterly results and their con calls, none of them were too sure about what exactly will be the impact. And the comment was that it's early days, so we can't say what exactly. But in last couple of weeks, we've got a few companies coming out, giving us some impact numbers of what's happening in the production side. So Hero came out saying that, I think about 14th of Feb, saying that 10% of their February production will get impacted. And TVS came, I think a few days back, saying that, giving the same number, 10% kind of a hit is coming on the production side. But the inventories are good enough to, that they don't need to take any impact on the dispatches as of now. Going by what the component makers are saying, as a routine, everyone stocks up before the Chinese New Year.
I think
there's a
4 to 6 weeks is the kind of stocking period for
yes,
that.
Yes. So a lot of them are good until say March or mid of March, but the problems will come post that. So you have to see. There are a couple of views. Firstly, if the virus is contained and the casualties or the regions or whatever is impacted is contained, then we might not see any production impact. If it prolongs for longer than say June or July period, then we might see a production impact for the whole year. So a couple of agencies like Fitch Solutions have come out saying that if this prolongs more than say June July period, there could be an impact of about say 8 to 9% on the production of vehicles for the year of 2020. Similarly, CII also came out, gave a comment of about say 8 to 10% impact. Again, if there's a prolonged impact of coronavirus. So these kind of numbers are flowing. Obviously, we are still waiting what will happen. Again, it can still be called as early days.
So in this, now we've already spoken about last 10 to 12 months, we have seen that weakness that has come in, and these were mainly domestic cues that were impacting the sales numbers for the auto industry. Now, if we have to look at coronavirus impact as well, and if there is a further slowdown, what happens to the industry?
See, so far, obviously, it's only the slowdown that is impacting. To quantify coronavirus, it can act as a cushion for companies who are saying that production will be impacted. Anyways, there's a slowdown going on. So whatever production is impacted probably will not make any difference or any dent to the retail sales. That's one view. Second view is there's a lot of talks going on that in the second half of the year there will be a revival coming. So if the coronavirus is contained, say within the June period, the second half is still good to go, and we might not see any impact of coronavirus at all.
Okay.
So this is the view so far. But the other view is that so with BS6, the vehicles
are having correct.
Yeah. So talking about BS6, a lot of the components or the newer components that are required for BS6 would be coming from imports, and predominantly from China. China is basically 1/4 of our total imports in the auto segment. I was
just reading a report which said almost 27% of your auto
Exactly. That's what ICRA and ACMA have come out and said. So if that is the impact, it probably would be higher for BS6 is what I think. Mainly because a lot of the newer components like EFI, fuel pumps, a lot of these are coming from China. Even companies like Bosch, who are having a local manufacturing unit in India, they source from their Chinese counterparts, so Chinese manufacturing facilities. So these kind of impacts can be seen in BS6 transition.
Correct. So that's a problem that we would be facing. I think MLM is facing a transition problem already right now, right?
So MLM came out said that their BS4 production is getting impacted.
Oh.
They didn't mention BS6 per se. So I mean, yeah, that's what they've said.
So overall, now we know that I mean, two companies have come and told us that there has been a production cut to the tune of almost 10% in the month of February. No major other companies have come out and given out any numbers as such right now. You have the auto sales numbers also that will start trickling in for the month of February in the next 2 to 3 days. Taking all of this into consideration, taking coronavirus into consideration, what is the view that you have on the auto sector as a whole? And we just have, the Q3 numbers that have just trickled in.
So, auto sector, I mean, discounting Corona for now, we can still see slowdown in next couple of quarters as well. A lot of the companies have come out and said that Q1 will again be a degrowth quarter in terms of sales volumes. Q2 could be a flattish kind of a quarter, and then we could see a revival coming in Q3 onwards.
Okay.
So that's what the general sense is coming from the auto industry about vehicle sales in India.
And if you have to divide it into subsectors like two-wheelers, three-wheelers, and four-wheelers, as well as if you have to talk about even the truck segment, where are you seeing growth or green shoots emerging?
So the first and foremost sector which is showing some kind of revival is tractors. In last couple of months, we've seen I think 3 or 4% or 7% kind of a growth in say Jan and February. That growth is largely led by a higher sowing in Rabi, and obviously with higher production we can see that rural farm income can improve, and hence that could drive other sectors like two-wheelers as well. In CVs, the problem is that the existing fleet is underutilized. The utilization levels are between say 55 to 60%. Until this moves to say 80% levels, which largely depends on infrastructure projects and a lot of the metals and mining sectors and cement sectors, we won't see a revival coming in CV sector at all.
Right.
The other driver for CV sector would be the scrappage policy, which we are still waiting for, the fine prints and the policy details. But that again is an event we cannot factor in right now. So discounting that factor, I don't see a revival in CV in FY21 at all. PV comparatively or relatively have been better than other segments. Secondly, their dependence on imports is also lower.
Low, correct.
So any impact of Corona, it will be the least on the PV segment. We've seen Maruti giving good numbers in last say 3 to 4 months, and they've completed their BS6 transition as well, which is positive for them. Other companies have newer products, newer launch pipeline, which will keep the excitement going in the PV space. So I think PV space is better placed right now amongst the top three. Tractors is doing well, and three-wheelers again has been doing well this year.
Right. So again, PV becomes the safe haven bet right now, at least in terms of the auto space. If you have to take even tractors or the CVs and the two-wheelers into consideration. Thanks, Anish, for joining us. So that's a view on the auto space as a whole, with the impact of coronavirus, as well as what could be the revival trends looking like in the subsectors as well. Thanks for watching.